Olympian Oscar Pistorius now saying that he did not intend to kill his girlfriend, and that happened, these statements in a bail hearing this morning. The double amputee known as Blade Runner says that he accidentally shot Riva Steenkamp 3 times through a bathroom door because he thought she was a robber. He said he believed she came in through the bathroom window while he was out on some sort of terrace and then came back in. Here's his quote. "I'm absolutely mortified by the events and the devastating loss of my beloved Riva." So where does all this leave us this morning with this unbelievable case? Louis Gainor, a Chicago defense attorney, and Tamara Holder, Fox News legal analyst and former Chicago attorney. Good to have both of you with us today. So, Louis, he's now claiming that he stepped outside, that he then came back in and heard the noise and was concerned that somebody had come in through the bathroom window. I don't know if he thought that if he's claiming that he thought that she was still in bed or that she was in the house elsewhere, and claims that he started shooting through the bathroom door at what he believed was a robber. How does this stack up for you?
Well, let's take a step back and look at the facts. We know that South Africa has a serious problem with violent crime. That's why Oscar Pistorius lived in a gated community. He had a chain-linked barbed wire fence around his house. That's why he armed himself at the house, because he thought that was necessary. So if he made the mistake that he thought it was an intruder, the question is, did he act reasonably? Did he find out where she was at the time to ascertain that she would be safe if he opened fire? The fact of the matter is that that evidence is going to come before a jury. They're going to know that he is probably the most the prominent member of the South African community, second only to Nelson Mandela. I mean, he's a target. That's why he has that security. So it's plausible. Let's see if a jury wants to believe it.
Yeah, there's also some information about a cricket bat, Tamara, and that there was a domestic disturbance phone call that came from the house. People heard fighting in the house. All of this would lead, I think, most people away from the explanation that we just heard.
Well, right. That's possible, but remember that it's not going to come in.
Go ahead, Tamara. We'll come back to you.
Before we get into talking about what a jury is going to hear, remember that he has been charged with premeditated murder. And Martha, like you said, there are things that are coming out that have led investigators to believe that it's premeditated. We know that she apparently cheated on him a few months prior. We know that he had discharged a gun a few weeks ago. We know that they had broken up and there were disturbances. These are things that are going to lead prosecutors and investigators to believe that this was premeditated. And remember, it wasn't just one shot through the door. It was 4 or 3. It was more than one. And after one shot, that could be the reason why they are now charging him with premeditated.
Yeah, and there are reports, and these are all based on reports, but that her hand was shot, which leads you to think that she had her hand on the doorknob, that she was trying to hold herself into that room. Louis, none of that looks very good for him.
Well, the bullet wound to the hand is going to play a big pivotal role in this case, because the question is he firing at an intruder, or the alternative theory was she taken as a hostage by an intruder in the bathroom? He fires the first shot apparently at the door lock. Maybe he's trying to free her at that time. If her hand was there, she gets hit in the hand and she screams.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think that your family member or your girlfriend is locked in the bathroom with a robber, isn't your first? I mean, my first thing would be to pick up the phone and call the police instantly before I started to deal with it.
Well, he's already decided that he wouldn't do that. That's why he's got the chain link fence around the house. He's got the weapons in the home, because the police are not adequate to protect him and his family.
But you just said that he's like Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela has security also. He doesn't just have a chain link fence. It makes no sense that if you know that your girlfriend's in the house and all of a sudden she's not with you and she's in the bathroom, that you're just firing bullets through the bathroom window or the bathroom door. This is the craziest thing. And Martha, the worst thing that this guy did was he made a statement to the police. So now prosecutors can basically poke holes or shoot holes, no pun intended, through everything that he said. Yeah. This is the stupidest guy I've ever heard of.
I mean, he's saying that he used the cricket bat to beat the door down. We also have heard that she had a wound on her head that may be consistent with being hit by this cricket bat. I mean, all of this is going to be the folks on your side, on the defense side, are going to have a pretty tough road, but we have seen people get away with a lot of things before. So this is going to be a fascinating, fascinating case. Let's move on. I want to get one thought on Drew Peterson. He's making one last-ditch sort of effort to keep himself out of jail. He says that Drew Brodsky blew it by putting a witness on the stand that should never have been there, and that he didn't have due process as a result. Louis, what do you think?
Well, most of the time, these motions for a new trial are a long shot at best. But it wouldn't surprise me in this case if this court or the appellate court were to grant a new trial. Because while he had a team of 6 lawyers, when Joel Brodsky called Harry Smith to testify, and Harry Smith said that Stacey Peterson said it was a fact that Drew had killed Kathleen Savio, what the problem was is that the judge had already denied the prosecutor's request to do the same thing. So when Joel Brodsky said, I want to call this witness, the judge's reaction was, you're going to do what? It had already been ruled against because it would help the prosecution too much.
All right,
so why in the world, why he call him?
Quick thought from Tamara on that, and then we got to go.
Well, I think that Drew Peterson is as guilty as sin, but at the same time, you know, they did a terrible investigation. The prosecutors did a terrible investigation, and at the end of the day, I think that his new trial is going to be denied because he had these 6 lawyers.
All right. Thank you very much. Louis and Tamara, thanks a lot, guys. Boy, we're going to be watching that one for a while.